Greetings friends, today I want to showcase my ice cold killer Sorceress. This is going to be a quick and easy guide to follow without much investment, so let's get started. First of all, I want to show you how it works. Our main spell is called Comet, which is a projectile that rains down from the sky with big damage but a very long cast speed. It is quite powerful, it usually one-shots any mobs, but it works wonders in combination with our second skill, which is Frost Wall. This allows us to create a defensive spell that freezes enemies and does a little bit of extra damage. But most of all, we have the ability to create safe havens where mobs cannot touch us. And it also applies a little bit of debuff, so it makes your Comet do even more damage. So we summon Frost Walls, and then the Comet comes down, destroying them and also doing damage simultaneously. Our third spell is called Cold Snap, and this spell is only used to detonate a freeze. If in case there's a rare mob and you don't kill it with one barrage, let's say you do a couple of walls and then you pass like 2 glaciers, let's say, and then the mob is definitely frozen, you will just have to press your detonate freeze called Cold Snap and you'll do a little bit of extra damage. And actually it is the biggest damage number that we have on Cold Snap, sitting around 13k. Our spirit spells are Arctic Armor and Cast on Freeze. Those two are not mandatory, you can basically switch them with everything you want, but I found it very enjoyable to play with those two. Finally, we have a movement spell, Lightning Warp. This is a very situational spell. It is used on monsters with less than 10% life to teleport and call them immediately. I usually use this only on bosses. For this build, you will need 4 jeweler orbs, lesser jeweler orbs, to link your spells, making them 4 link. As you can see, all of my spells, almost except the last 3, are 4 linked. They are only 1 exalt each or even less, and you will need a little bit of energy shield plus resistance on your gear in order to not die. Those are pretty bad items that I purchased for 1 exalt, and maybe I have thrown in some sockets to make them better. I will quickly glance over them just to show you. This build can be heavily invested in and upgraded, and of course this is just the tutorial stage. This is the wand I have purchased for 1 exalt. Very basic stuff. Some resist, some energy shield, and if you can get it, even a bit of damage. This is why I'm using this unique shield, which is 1 alchemy orb. It basically gives me 1% spell damage for 1 spirit. I have 100 spirit, and that's 100% increased spell damage, which is a pretty big number for something so budget. Of course, I will go and upgrade this build when I reach maps and keep you guys updated. Now let's go over each skill. What are their links? So our main spell is called Comet, and Comet has spell Echo, has arcane tempo, and elemental focus. We don't need to freeze with Comet, we just need to hit very hard. So that's why elemental focus really works for us. The second spell, Frost Wall, linked with spell Cascade. This gives us extra layers of walls, glaciation, extra freeze, and cold exposure that gives us a little bit of a cold exposure on critical hit with cold damage, which happens quite a lot because we have a big amount of crit, 30% chance. I summon 3 walls, basically 37 crit chance on Comet, and on Cold Snap we have 36% chance. Next spell, Cold Snap, linked with cold penetration, concentrated effect, and extraction. This support removes 10% of your life on activation, so be careful. If you want to spam it, I suggest removing extraction and maybe using elemental focus. This is actually the campaign setup I did until I got enough level for Comet. Comet is a level 11 spell, I believe. So you'll need a couple of levels. And if you want to do the same ascendancy as me, we also get this ascendancy called Tempest Color. It gives us another skill, Elemental Storm. And this Elemental Storm is linked with Blind, Control, Destruction, and Ingenuity. Basically, I wanted to make this spell very defensible, but give us an extra layer of defense. But unfortunately, you know, it's still in the work in progress, but this is not a big part. I actually suggest you skip this entirely. Don't even get a jeweler orb for it, and go for the force of will for extra effect of arcane surge, and this way you're casting your glacier even faster. Like I said, make sure to decently equip yourself with a socket, maybe a little bit of quality. In case you didn't know, you can salvage superior items for armor scraps. And I highly suggest 2 amethyst rings to protect you a little bit from the chaos damage. Most of this is self-crafts because I have gotten blue on the ground, augmented, regal it, and basically got lucky a little bit with a resistance roll, and it was pretty good. I don't even need this life. As you can see, I have 3.2k energy shield. The life is pretty much irrelevant. It's just a little bit of buffer so we don't die from chaos damage. Speaking of chaos damage, I highly recommend a charm that gives you immunity to poison, a little bit of extra precaution. For jewels, I have again self-crafted some jewels, purchased from the site and then regaled, exalted them. What you're looking for is big yes, and then any other cold damage, or maybe let's say critical hit chance or magnitude of elements. But the big thing is energy shield. As you can see on this tree, we're stacking quite a bit of energy shield. We're trying to take as much cast speed as possible, a little bit of elemental damage, again some mana, energy shield, critical hit chance for spells, and critical hit chance for that crit. A little bit of penetration, cold here, a little bit of penetration cold here, and +1 level of cold spells. Again, here is more energy shield, slower start. I still need a couple of levels to make up for this downside, the slower start, but we get all those big nodes, 60% here. We also get 40% here, 10% reduced life. Then we have 40% here, 10% reduced mana. We have quite a bit of mana, but this does not affect us too much. The 40% energy shield is very good for an extra defensive layer. Right now I am only level 52, so I am able to socket my custom freeze with Frost Bomb, Ice Nova, and Eye of Winter. Eye of Winter being a level that is level 52. I've just recently played with it and it's very good, but if you don't have level 52 yet, you can just use Frostbolt here, and when you freeze, you will spawn a couple of Frostbolts. Speaking of Frostbolts, I have progressed fairly easy through the campaign so far, and I will 100% update it further. But when I progressed early levels, I had, instead of Comet, because Comet is like a higher level spell, I have used Frostbolt. And with Frostbolt, what I did was cast Frostbolt and then detonate with cold, snap any balls. I have also used all of these cold snap for gems, like let's say not cold snap, sorry, Frostbolt. For example, I had used deceleration so the balls stay longer on the screen, as well as wild shards and scatter shots for extra projectiles. And this way, anyway, the Frostbolt doesn't do much damage, but it's the Frost Bomb from Custom Freeze, it's the Ice Nova, and it's also the Glacier that explode and do the damage for you. Now, this is pretty much it. Main advantages of this build is the slow and freeze you inflict on trash mobs, allowing you to survive any encounter, along with a fairly satisfying gameplay. And it also does really well against bosses, because bosses can also be frozen even though they have that resistances. Build is very cheap, and even if I have one person, I think it is fair. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.